Finally, it's summertime. And these last 8 weeks, I promise you, it almost killed me. After finishing my final exam, I wanted to get as far away from school as possible. So, I think it's time to go on a vacation. My cousin felt the same way. She called me up and she said, "Hey girl, what you doing?" I said, "I ain't doing nothing, but I'm trying to do something." And she's like, "Me too. So what about you join us and we go to the Blue Hole?" I said, "Who's we?" The rest of our cousins, do a little day trip. "What's Blue Hole?" I say. She's like, "Blue Hole, it's in the mountains in Tennessee. They have a little waterfall that you could jump into off of a cliff." I was like, "I don't know about that." She said, "You ain't gotta jump if you don't want to. It's a nice little hike. Just come with us." I think about it, and I was like, you know what? Let's go. Let me tell you guys about me and water, right? I don't mind being in the water. I can swim, but I can't swim. Does that make sense? Like, I can get in the water and splash around a little bit, but I'm not trying to go into the deep end. I'm about 5 foot tall, maybe a little bit less than that, and I ain't trying to go in too deep. Now, don't get me wrong, I can swim, like I said, a little bit, but I ain't trying to go like deep sea diving or nothing like that. I'm just trying to, have a little bit of fun, cool out, sit by the pool. When she said, "Let's go," and I said, "Let's go," I automatically said, I'm not going in the water. So we get to Blue Hole, but before you get there, you have to hike up the mountain, right? And that's about a 30-minute hike. As we're walking, you can hear the waterfall in the background. And as we get closer, it gets louder. You hear the birds chirping. I mean, guys, this day was gorgeous. It's exactly what I needed. I needed that break. And my cousin pulls me to the side and she said, "Look, girl, if you can't swim, don't be jumping in this water. Ain't nobody got time to save nobody from drowning. So if you can't swim and you jump in, I'm not saving you." Now, why would you say that about halfway up? And that's the only thing that's on my mind now. Is like, I better not jump in this water. I better not jump in this water. If I jump in this water, I ain't gonna make it. So I decide to not jump in the water. We get to the top of the cliff. My cousins start jumping in. I'm watching them having fun. I'm just recording, minding my business, no problem. They want me to record it so they can put it up on social media. So I did that for them, right? Now tell me why the same cousin that was like, "Girl, you better not jump in that water," comes up to me and say, "Hey, you want to jump in with me?" I was like, "What you mean do I want to jump in with you?" She's like, "Girl, we can jump in together. It's going to be fine. The water ain't that deep. I mean, it's deep, but it ain't that deep." And I looked at her like, "Nah, you done lost your mind." She's like, "Girl, come on. Peer pressure. I promise you, peer pressure." So I grab her hand. We start running to the end of the cliff to jump. I let her hand go and let her jump into the water. She started splashing around in the water, swimming a little bit, having fun. And I'm looking down like, man, if I could only swim like that, it would be fine. So my male cousins come up behind me and say, "Hey, do you want to jump in? We'll jump in with you." So now it's 2 of them. And I was like, "Nah, I don't know about that." They're like, "We got you. We'll just hold hands and we'll just all jump in together. If you start having some trouble, I'll just pull you up, right?" All right, cool. So we back up from the cliff. We get a running start. And right before we jump in the water, I let their hands go, but I did jump this time. Now, the reason I let their hands go is because I know I need my hands to swim. So if we're holding hands, there's no way that I'll be able to swim. So when I hit the water, I swear something just pulled me down. I mean, I was like, oh my God, why am I going so far down? So I put my hands up above my head, trying to pull myself up to the top of the water, and I'm not making it as far as I want to make it. I was like, oh no. I look to my left, I look to my right, and then I see this hair in the water. Now look, both of my cousins, they got locks, right? Long locks, long, beautiful locks. Those long, beautiful locks might as well have been a ladder to me. I grabbed my cousin's hair and I start pulling myself up by his hair. And then I feel a shoulder. So I grab his shoulder, I push myself up over his shoulder, and I'm sitting on top of his shoulder right now. And my cousin is struggling in the water. That ain't my problem. My problem was survival, and I'm doing that right now. And finally, they get us out the water, and my cousin looks at me, he's like, you almost killed both of us. And I looked at him and said, you said if I was going to drown, that you were going to save me. Let's just say you just saved me. Guys, look, like I said, I can swim, but I can't swim. That water wasn't about to beat me today. Far as I see it, it was a great vacation. We hiked our way back down, and they ain't asked me to go back since.